Good morning, Patrick here from Complete Health. For those of you that just received a notification, then I immediately jumped off, is because my headphones were making noises at me, and if I leave something playing in the background, sometimes it will ruin the whole video, as there will be two things playing. You'll get the audio from both me and whatever's playing on my phone. So just wanted to share something that I did last night, which is the first time I can honestly say that I've managed to sleep this long in forever. So I actually went to bed at about 8:30 last night. I've been ripping our house apart and I was absolutely shattered. And I got 9 hours of sleep, and it always makes me realize that when I do this, how much better I actually feel. And ironically, I have these conversations with clients all the time, and many of us don't really know how much of a risk it is for our health not getting the right volumes of sleep. Now, obviously, the guidelines set out to us by the World Health Organization and by the NHS are around 7 to 9 hours, depending on your age. Generally, the younger you are, the more sleep you should have. Children should actually be sleeping for more than 9 hours per night because their brains are still developing. And interestingly, sleep volumes are different amongst different species, and generally as a rule of thumb, the longer you sleep, the longer you live. So most animals that have long levels of sleep, or certain animals that have longer levels or deeper levels of sleep, and different types of diets, predominantly plant-based diets, actually have longer lifespans. So increased levels of sleep, low-calorie diets, and plant-based diets have all been linked with increased longevity. However, here are some of the risks that we pose when we do not actually sleep enough. Increased risks of heart diseases, increased risks of diabetes, increased risks of cancers, reduced levels of mental awareness, reduced levels of fertility. The list goes on and on and on. Most of us will know that when we haven't slept well enough, we'll all automatically reach for the kettle and fill up on caffeinated beverages or energy drinks. And this doesn't really help us in two ways. One, it starts to prevent our ability to control and regulate our sleep pattern. But two, the heightened levels of caffeinated drinks also start to run their own risks as well. So interestingly enough, one of the best things you can start to do is improve on sleep hygiene, as opposed to try and improve your alertness after a bad night's sleep. And not many people really think about sleep hygiene, but there are some really simple things you can do. Limit the times that you are spending in bed. E.g., don't sit there and lay there. If you cannot sleep, get up, do something until you're tired, and then go back to sleep. But always ensure that you get up at the same time every single day, because there will be a point where your body can no longer cope with the lack of sleep, and you'll have to get into a routine. So, e.g., if you go to bed at 9 o'clock, you can't sleep, and you end up going back to bed at 11 o'clock, you still get up at 5 o'clock the next morning. So you give yourself that 8 hours, you force yourself to learn how to sleep within that time frame, so that over a period of time, your brain starts to get into a bit of a body clock as how to what times you're going to go to sleep and what times you're actually going to get up. Now, other interesting things that have been linked to improved qualities of sleep is not going and doing, if by the way you struggle to sleep, personally I can do this. I can go and exercise and eat within a couple of hours of bed, but it's not recommended. It's not recommended. If you sleep or exercise or eat within a 2-hour period of going to sleep, this can massively change your ability to go to sleep. Stuff like having technology in your room, e.g. stuff like televisions, Wi-Fi routers, your phone on charge, any of these things where you can have electronics that potentially are going to have notifications, lights on, even just something as simple as your electric toothbrush sitting on the side of your bed flashing to show you that it's charging, or huge cracks in your blinds or your curtains can all start to change your ability to sleep as well. Things like drinking alcohol or use of recreational drugs or even medical drugs can start to affect the quality of your sleep. Even though there are drugs like diazepam, I think otherwise known as Valium, will send you to sleep, the quality of your sleep is not actually as good. Same again as if you use something like alcohol or cannabis. They can both be helpful at getting people off to sleep. However, your brain doesn't build the same connections. Your brain doesn't build the same connections in those scenarios. So it is just worth thinking about your sleep hygiene, making sure you're having something like a hot shower just before you go to bed, making sure you set yourself a routine, making sure you're dimming the lights before you go to bed. Why? Because those 6 to 8 hours that you should be getting daily are super important in the prevention of a multitude of different problems, e.g. heart disease, diabetes, cancers, you name it. And we've known this to be true since the land before time, that if we eat well, move well, sleep well, and think well, we will start to see massive improvements in people's health. It's not rocket science. It is just simple nature, observing and living within the guidelines of our bodies. I'm currently listening to an audiobook called Lifespan. I've also been listening to reading another book called The Longevity Paradox. And the ironic thing is that the more I read these books, the more I see the crossover in the research that these people are doing. And a lot of the things that improve our health and our lifespans are the same things that are causing diseases and dysfunctions. E.g., if we're eating a predominantly plant-based diet, if we're getting the adequate volumes of sleep, we're drinking the right levels of hydration, we're getting the right amino acids, we're not over-consuming foods. So the same thing keeps reappearing in all the books. The same stuff that I was taught at university keeps reappearing in the books. Yet we're all still looking for that one pill or potion that will solve all our problems. And ironically, it's not out there because the problem isn't with a lack of a certain drug in our system. Is actually in the way that we're treating the system that our body is. It is not the machine that we think it is. It is a living organism and it has to be treated like one. So make sure you're getting your right levels of sleep. I personally, like I say, I feel amazing this morning because 9 hours of sleep, I'm ready to go. So lucky for me, this nice long day until 8:30 this evening, I'm ready to rock and roll. If you guys are in the clinic, I will see you soon. If not, I will speak to you guys again first thing tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a lovely day. Make sure you sleep. See you soon.